Welcome to the Annoyed Adult Podcast, and I'm back after a long 6-month hiatus because, to be quite honest, I got in trouble for another podcast I did, but now I'm back. And if you haven't listened to the show before, you can find us on Spotify and on iTunes. And this is basically a show where I give teacher advice or we talk about students and student behaviors. So we pulled a bunch of questions from Reddit, and I kind of wanted to tackle these questions one by one and kind of give you some feedback on it. Here we go. So our first question is, what are some smaller, less known issues you struggle with as a teacher? And this person writes, we often heard about bigger contemporary issues like AI and workload. And so what are some niche problems or struggles you feel? Some of the more niche problems I have is, I have a noisy neighbor. I'm downstairs from another classroom, and the upstairs classroom is a weightlifting classroom. And so frequently, hear pounding and dropping of weights. And that has actually gone down because I went upstairs and talked to the teacher and said, can you not do that? And so that's gotten better. But what has replaced that is they have this tendency to blast their stereo. And they blast their stereo so loud that it transmits through the floor and into my classroom as I'm giving lecture. So that's just something, that I'm working on, that the teacher upstairs understands. And I'm working through those things. That's kind of a small niche problem. It's not that bad because I talk loud in class anyway. Another niche problem I have is we have a lot of teachers here that are stuck in an older generational mindset. I mean, they've been teaching here for 25, 30 years and, they're not retired yet. There's no reason they should retire. But the way they do things are stuck in this method that is inefficient. Let me give you an example. So we have prom, right? Every high school has a prom. And then when the kids have to pay for prom, they show up in a 2-hour window once a year to pay for their prom. And I think that's incredibly, incredibly inefficient. Why can't we take payments online? Let the kids pay online. The way they can get a digital receipt and we have an accurate record. We know how many kids are coming to prom. So when the kids line up to pay, they have to tell the person they're paying what their name is. Now, living in the state of Hawaii, we have a lot of unique names. And if the kid who's writing down on paper the name of the student paying, if they get the name wrong, then they transmit that data wrong into a Google Sheet, which they're going to use later. And then when the kid actually comes to prom, we can't find the kid because their name's not spelled properly. That is a huge problem, right? We have to verify and then make sure the person paid. And then that kid who paid via check or cash, by the way, has to have a receipt. How many of you keep your receipts from the store? I don't keep my receipts from the store. It's ridiculous. But kids lose receipts, right? It happens. So I said, why don't we just modernize our system where the kids just pay online? We charge a little more for prom because we're going to lose fees on the credit card transaction fee anyway. And then the kid can type in his or her own name. And that way we have a perfect, balanced sheet of who's coming to prom, proper first name spelling, proper last name spelling, the guest names are spelled properly, and we know everything immediately, like how many people are coming. It's an accurate, balanced system. Instead of kids lining up for hours just to hand over check or cash, that makes no sense at all. But, these are niche problems that some schools have. I don't know if your school or you went to a school that had to do that, but I just think that's an old way of doing things. We don't need to do things that way. And so the problem is these teachers are stuck in their older methods, but we can really modernize the system. Like kids, and the way we do business and the way we transact things clearly are evolving. So why don't we do that same evolution too? And if you're making it hard for someone to give you money, then you're not really doing a good job. You should make it very easy for someone to give you money. Like if somebody wanted to pay me for a service or a good, I would make it as easy as possible for them to pay me. Why would I make it difficult for them? They don't want to pay me otherwise. That makes no sense, right? Maybe you agree, maybe disagree, but those are some problems that I have. Our next one is titled, My Husband is Jealous of My Summer Break. And this person writes, My husband came home cranky at lunch and revealed that he's jealous of my summer break. Has anyone dealt with this? Any advice to help him not be jealous? He's generally very supportive and I think he's in a funk. Um, if your husband is jealous of your summer break, then maybe he should be a teacher. Yeah, I love my summer break, man. I don't want to give that up for anything. I love this job where I can take off for spring break, for fall break, for winter break, for summer break. Dude, I dig it. I mean, why do you not want to do this job? It is a job where can be energetic around students. I can enjoy my breaks when they happen. I can use that time to recoup and recover my mind from the stress of daily life. I can spend more time with my kids. I can have a good time. And I think, yeah, maybe your husband is a little jealous of your summer break because think about it. These jobs that everybody else has are what? 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and for the life of the time here on Earth, right? I saw this thing on Instagram where it was a skit, and this young girl says, "Okay, well, everybody, I'll see you guys in September," and then her two coworkers are like, "Oh, why? Where are you going?" And the first girl says, "Well, it's June, so it's summer break, right?" And then her two coworkers go, "No, we don't have that here." And then she goes, "Well, when does it end?" And then the older person says, "Retirement." Yeah, right? So that makes sense to me. Like these people get trapped. These people are not trapped. Trapped is a bad thing to say. They're not really trapped. That's the job they chose, right? But the job they chose doesn't allow for this flexibility that teachers have. So is your husband is jealous? Rightfully so. Rightfully so that they're jealous of summer break. I don't know how long your summer break is. My summer break is about 2 months long, and it's great. I am so de-stressed. I have time to make this podcast. I have time to do other things. Uh, so if your husband is jealous and he's in a funk, as you said, then yeah, probably your husband's in a funk because he has to watch you enjoy your life while he has to go to work. Um, and I get paid in the summer because they take our paycheck and they spread it out over 12 months. Tell your husband if your husband is making about the same as you, then maybe he should go back to college, get an education degree, and then be a teacher. Then you can have summers together. I don't know. Easy fix to me, but yeah, my wife doesn't get upset that I have summers off. In fact, she enjoys it because I give her time to do whatever she wants in the summer too. Like if she's off shift, because she has a very flexible work shift. When she's off, I take the kids and we go somewhere and we disappear for hours on end. I give my wife that time off so she can enjoy her day and just be alone. Maybe that's something that you could do for your husband, to have your husband call in sick a day or two, with COVID or whatever. And then you just kind of let your husband enjoy his time. If you have kids together, you take your kids out, have a good time. Or maybe just play hooky and go do stuff together and give them a taste of what summer break actually feels like. Because in these what, 8 hour a day, 12 months of the year jobs, what do you get? I think you get a 2 week vacation. Maybe you have no vacation. I don't know. But give your husband that time. Let him get a taste of what a break feels like, right? We all need mental breaks here and there. Luckily for us as teachers, we have them built into our contract. So, yeah, your husband is jealous. I'll tell you straight up, your husband is jealous. Yeah. So, hopefully, you guys can work that out, give him a taste of freedom, and then have a good time together. Our next question is seventh graders don't know 8 divided by 2 equals 4. I saw this before. I saw this, I think, on Instagram. I'm not sure. But this person writes, I'm teaching algebra to rising seventh graders. They want us to teach seventh grade content, so I'm doing 2-step algebra equations. They can't balance the equations because they don't know how basic math facts. We need to start holding kids back. This is absurd. This is the 3rd grade content. They're about to be 7th graders. We are so fucked. Okay. Uh, you know, you're the teacher. They're the student. So if they don't understand basic concepts like division, either one of two things are happening. One, they're playing you because they don't want to do the content. Or two, if they generally don't know it, then it's your job as the teacher to make sure you reinforce this content knowledge. But you know what? I think you're kind of right. We need to start holding kids back. If kids don't have the basic concepts of math, like how to do division, how to do multiplication in this early stages, and then they have to do the more complicated thing, then who's passing them, right? How are they passing? Like that's one of the problems I have is that we consider a D passing. I don't know about your school system. In our Hawaii school system, a D is a passing grade. And well, not we, I think that's stupid. You know, when I went to college, B was the bare minimum because to stay in the program, you need the 3.0. So if they're not doing well with math and they don't really understand, then I don't know. You should give them a knowledge quiz at the beginning of the school year and figure out where people are. You might have to readjust your curriculum map. You might have to spend some time reevaluating some of these students. And my bigger question is how many of these students don't really know 8 divided by 2 equals 4? Is it just a handful or is it just doing like a couple? For example, if you had a class of 35 kids and only 5 of them don't understand, then it's not the problem of them not knowing it when they were third grade. It's just those 5 kids. Those 5 kids need remedial help, right? Talk to your admin. Maybe you guys have a remedial math program or have these kids come in after school or before school to do some remedial math and kind of get them caught up. Like I think like once they understand, oh yeah, that's what division is. That's what multiplication is. Then they'll kind of kick back over. So you might have to spend some time recovering that. But going back to the concept of holding kids back, I also kind of agree with that too, like I said before, because if they can't do it, they shouldn't be moved forward, right? For example, if you can't read, how are you supposed to do more complicated reading and writing if you can't read in the first place? That's just setting that kid up for failure. So you blame whoever you want. You can blame the parents for not reinforcing their knowledge concepts. You can blame the teachers for passing the kid when they shouldn't be passing. I mean, that problem should have really been caught along the way, right? If the kid's not doing well in math, like did those third grade teachers or if whatever have conversations with parents? But this is grade 7, so there have been 4 other grades since then. Somebody along that entire process line really fucked up and they didn't do their due diligence to make sure those kids had the proper knowledge set. So that is a greater conversation you need to have with your admin. Like, what is your data support? As a teacher, I know you guys take data, right? We all take data as teachers. We need to figure out where our students are failing, where our students are doing great. What does your data support? Does your data support that you guys have low math scores? Or does your data support only a small population of individuals have low math scores? You got to figure that out first. Once you figure that out, then you can tackle this problem. Have 2 separate math classes, one remedial math, maybe a 7th grade math and a higher math, or three. 3 would be better, right? Okay. Hope you figure that out. Check on your data, talk to your data coaches, and then get on it. The title of our next question is finding a job really that hard? And this person says, the last few days, I've been seeing a lot of posts about finding a teaching job being hard. This really concerns me because I'm 3 classes and a practice away from doing my student teaching. My big concern is bleeding my savings dry to do student teaching just to get out and have no job opportunities. Is it really that bad right now? I'm going to school for secondary biology and chemistry. Uh, no. I see so many job postings looking for teachers that I don't think it's going to be hard. I think you're just super stressed out and you're worried that you might not have a job. Teaching is one of those professions that nobody wants to do. When I ask people, "Do you want to be a teacher?" and their common thing to me is, "No fucking way," because and I kid you not, the most common excuse is because I don't want to deal with kids, which is, to be honest, the most fucked up thing I've heard. Because the same people that say they don't want to deal with kids are the same ones that probably complain about student education. They complain about, oh, kids don't understand certain things. Well, then be a teacher and help somebody out and Give them the knowledge that they need and deserve. Don't hold back. I love my job. I love teaching. Some of the best memories I have is having a student learn something new, and having their eyes open, or giving them just like dad talks, like, hey, should I go buy this car? No. Right? Should I buy this PlayStation? No. Here's why. Like, invest your money. Anyway, but it's not hard finding a job. You are looking at it at a sense of, are you going to be gainfully employed when you're done? You've put this much time in. You are 3 classes away and a praxis exam uh, away from being a teacher. What is wrong? Are you scared? Are you just having like buyer's remorse of your college educational program? If that's what you're experiencing right now, then you got to dig deep and pick yourself up and get to it. You're scared. You're just scared that you can't make it happen. You're probably reading things online and feeding into this mindset like, I can't find a job. You're probably suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect. And if you don't know what that is, go look it up. I'm telling you, that's probably what you're suffering from. Because you just read bad news and you think the world is bad, or you just see things, there's no jobs, and now you think there's no jobs. No, there are jobs. Teaching is one of those jobs and one of those professions that we need more people of. We need strong people, mentally strong people. We don't need, we definitely don't need more introverts. That we have plenty of those. You know, if you're an extroverted person, I think you have no problem finding another job as a teacher. You'll be fine. You're gonna be okay. You say you're bleeding your savings dry doing your student teaching. Uh, it is a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. I remember when I first started teaching, I looked at how much I was making, and a manager at Starbucks was probably making more money than I was. But now, 10 years into teaching, I am making nearly 6 digits, because of PD classes, because of, other things I'm doing. And I feel good. I feel good about what I do and the money I make and the breaks that I get. I feel great. I come to work in jeans and a t-shirt sometimes, and it's terrific. Like, my boss doesn't bother me. My boss is supportive, and I have supportive coworkers. Uh, you can do it. Don't give up. I try to tell other students, by the way, and that's tangent conversation. I tell outgoing high school seniors, you should be teachers. You should be teachers because the next generation needs you. And most students say, oh, I don't want to deal with students. I'm like, well, then that makes you a giant wuss, because we dealt with you and now you don't want to, help people out. But some students actually kind of want to be teachers because they're like, wait a minute, I have all this freedom and flexibility. And like, yeah, what a fun thing to do, helping somebody out, right? So stick to it. You're going to be okay. Hang in there. And I believe in you. And our last question, well, another summer question. The title is Anyone Else Prone to Couch Rot? And this person says, summer is so close, I can almost taste it. Just 2 more days. LOL. I don't struggle finding things to do during summer, but my physical activity absolutely craters. I go from 12,000 steps a day to luckily I break 5,000 steps a day. I think it's because my hobbies tend to be pretty sedentary. Crafts, reading, writing, video games. Anybody else deal with this? Thoughts outside of taking walks, so many walks. Yeah, I'm in the martial arts and I go to the gym. That is for me a fun thing to do. I get a lot of exercise. I get to hit my friends and they hit me back and we strangle each other. It's great. No, but maybe pick another sport. Put down the video games. You don't need to do that. Video games are fun, but it shouldn't be an all-day affair. And go outside and lift weights. Like, strength training is probably one of the best things I've done. Like, at my age, I'm 50 years old, and if you saw me, people don't think I'm 50. Nobody believes I'm 50 when they look at me. But that's something that you could do. Try strength training. Like, go to the gym. You don't really have to do all those steps. Like, steps are like whatever. You walk no matter what, right? If you love walking, then go to the gym and walk. But try something else. I urge you to try to like lift weights, bench press, shoulder press, rows, pull downs. Or if you don't have access to a gym and it's too far away, Go to the nearest playground and just start doing pull-ups, push-ups, pull-ups. You do 45 minutes to an hour of that, your body's gonna be sore. But 6 weeks later, if you do that, like, nearly every day, you're gonna, like, really see some benefit because it takes 4 to 6 weeks to even see a little benefit anyway, and once you start doing that, I think you're gonna, like, really accelerate yourself. See, you're looking at this from a, "Oh, couch rot, like, I'm just being lazy at home." But if you're reading and writing, like, what are you reading and writing, right? Are you reading and writing things that improve your life? Uh, are you reading and writing things just for fun and fantasy? You know, it makes a difference of what you're doing when you have this free time. Try to spend that free time being more active. Try bicycling, try making new friends. I've actually spent an entire summer once building an entire AI algorithm because I wanted to teach it in my next core career, my next school year. That's something that you can spend time on. It's not necessarily couch rot. It's just like you're improving yourself. If you spend that time to improve yourself, you won't suffer from couch rot. It's just your brain. Your brain thinks you're being lazy because you're just staying at home and doing the same thing every time. But I think if you just kind of get out there, exercise vigorously, strength train, pick up a new hobby, make some new friends, learn new content, then I don't think you'll be suffering from couch rot. I think you're going to really start improving yourself and then putting that out into the world. And then who knows? Maybe you can take that newfound passion that you have for whatever you've learned and teach it to your students. That's stuff I do all the time. It's fun. Kids love to know that you're improving because it makes their lives better. All right? So, get off the couch, put the video games down, go do something else. Like don't play video games all the time. That's what the kids do. Don't do that. All right? Good luck. I'll see you out there. You know what? I really miss doing all these questions. I miss doing Q&A. I think I've got to do more of it. I really enjoy it, and I love having you on board. I love having you be here and listen to the show. And if you want to ask questions, feel free to jump on Spotify, and there's a Q&A session on Spotify. Feel free to post whatever you like. I'll do my best to answer them. But you can find us on Spotify and on iTunes and wherever podcasts are found. I want to thank you very much again for listening, and I really miss you. I really miss doing this, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, I'll see you later. Aloha.